Hi viewers, how are you? Welcome to my channel Physics with Rams. Today we are going to discuss about the addition of vectors based on a parallelogram, triangle law as well as a polygon law. So now here in the case of a parallelogram as well as the triangle law, so by considering two vectors we are going to add the vectors, whereas in the case of polygon we are going to add the vectors if these vectors are given more than two vectors. So now let us discuss about parallelogram law of vectors. So let us see the statement of this parallelogram. Observe that if two vectors are drawn from a point so as to represent the adjacent sides of a parallelogram both in magnitude and direction, then the diagonal of the parallelogram drawn from the same point represent the resultant of two vectors both in magnitude and direction. So here for this what we are going to do is we are going to draw a parallelogram with two vectors. Let us consider the first vector as p bar and the second vector as q bar. So since we had said that parallelogram, we have to draw the parallel vectors in the form of a parallelogram. So since this vector is having a magnitude of q, the vector, see it is, since it is parallel, it is also having a magnitude of q, and in the same way observe these two vectors are parallel. So as the magnitude of this vector is p, the magnitude of this vector is also p, and here the resultant is given by the diagonal line. So we are going to draw the diagonal origin from the starting point, and this diagonal line represents a resultant. Now here let us represent the endpoints for this parallelogram as A, B, C, D. Now here we have to apply the Pythagoras theorem, and we know that in order to apply the Pythagoras theorem we should have an angle of 90 degrees. So observe this parallelogram, we don't have any 90-degree angle. So in order to get this, what we do is we just extend this vector and draw a perpendicular bisector from C onto AB. So now the coinciding point is represented as E. Observe that here we have an angle of 90 degrees perpendicular, and here the angle between the two vectors p and q is theta. As the angle between p and q is theta, and here then automatically the angle at this position is also theta, and here the angle between the vector p and resultant is alpha. Angle between vector p and resultant diagonal line is alpha, and the angle between vector q and the resultant is beta. Angle between vector q and resultant or the diagonal line is beta. So now observe that here I am going to consider triangle BCE. Triangle BCE. So here from triangle BCE, observe this, here sin theta can be given as sin theta equals to opposite side by hypotenuse. Why we are going to consider this a smaller triangle means we have to find the values of CE. Why? Because we don't know the magnitude of this line CE as well as BE. So in order to find this magnitude, we just consider sin theta and cos theta. So from this triangle, if we consider this triangle, here we have sin theta equals to opposite side by hypotenuse. Then we can represent it as CE by BC. And here we have CE is equals to BC sin theta. And we know that BC is nothing but magnitude of this vector, and it is represented as Q sin theta. Q sin theta. Whereas in the same way, if we consider cos theta equals to adjacent side BE by BC, hypotenuse BC. From this equation we have BE is equals to BC cos theta. BC cos theta, where we know that BC is nothing but magnitude Q. Based on that we can write it as BE equals to Q cos theta. Now let us consider the triangle ACE. We have to consider triangle ACE. For this triangle we have to apply Pythagoras theorem. whereas we know that hypotenuse square equals to opposite side square plus adjacent side square. Then we can write this equation as AC square equals to AE square plus CE square. AE square plus CE square. Whereas here observe that in between AE we have a point B. So this AE can be represented as AB plus BE. AB plus BE. So if we split this, then we have A B plus BE whole square plus CE whole square. C whole square. Whereas observe this, this equation it is in the form of A plus B whole square. Then we can split this equation. Then we have AB square plus B square plus 2 into AB into BE in AB into BE plus CE square. CE square. So just substitute all this. Here observe that AC is nothing but resultant. AC is nothing but a resultant. If we substitute the values, we have R square equals to AB nothing but P square plus BE. Already we had derived the value of BE. What is BE? Q cos theta. So we can write it as Q square cos square theta plus 2 into AB. AB is nothing but P plus BE. BE is nothing but Q cos theta plus CE. Value of CE is Q sin theta. So Q sin theta whole square. So we can write it as Q square sin square theta. Observe that here we have Q square cos square theta and here we have Q square sin square theta. If we take Q square as common, then we can write it as Q square into cos square theta plus sin square theta. And we know that cos square theta plus sin square theta equals to 1. So I am writing directly. Then we have R square equals to P square plus Q square plus 2 PQ cos theta. Then we can represent the resultant of this parallelogram as R equals to under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. 2PQ cos theta. The direction is being represented based on the first vector P as well as resultant. So observe that the angle between the first vector and the resultant is alpha. Then tan alpha is equals to opposite side from this triangle ACE. ACE we have tan alpha equals to CE by AE. CE by AE. And we know that this AE can be splitted into AB plus BE. So if we split this, we have ACE by AB plus BE. Then we can write it as CE equals to Q sin theta. Then we have tan alpha equals to Q sin theta by, and we know that AB is nothing but magnitude P plus BE is nothing but Q cos theta. It represents the direction. We can also find the direction based on beta, because the angle between this vector as well as resultant is beta. So if we consider this, then we can write it as tan beta P sin theta by Q plus P cos theta. In this way, we can represent the direction based on this vector as well as resultant, and it is given as tan beta equals to P sin theta by Q plus P cos theta. So now take a screenshot. We will continue with the special cases. Now we are going to discuss special cases based on the parallelogram law of vectors. Come to the case. Here already we had derived that the magnitude of this parallelogram is given as R equals to under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, and the direction is given as tan alpha equals to Q sin theta by P plus Q cos theta. So here once again revise the parallelogram diagram. Here observe that the diagram will be like this. So now as you observe this here, the magnitude is P and magnitude is Q, and the resultant is represented as R. So here observe that the angle between resultant and the P, first vector, is represented as alpha. It is represented as alpha. So here as you observe this alpha, here as this magnitude increases, as the magnitude of the first vector increases, the resultant line approaches to me. Means based on that, here we can say that if P is greater than Q, then the angle alpha will be less than beta. Means as the magnitude of the vector increases, the resultant approaches nearer to the larger magnitude. And the second case, let us consider the two vectors are parallel to one another. Means the angle between these two vectors is 0, theta equals to 0. Then by using the magnitude equation, we know that cos 0 is equals to 1. Then here we have r equals to under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos g, where we know that cos 0 equals to 1. Then we have under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq. Observe that it is in the form of a square plus b square plus 2ab. Then we can write it as under root of p plus q whole square. So for square and root gets cancelled, then we have r equals to p plus q. R equals to p plus q. Now we have to represent the direction. Whereas here direction tan alpha equals to q sin theta. We know that sin 0 is 0 by q into 0 by p plus q into cos 0 is 1. 0 by something, we get a 0. Next, let us consider the two vectors are acting in opposite direction. P bar and Q bar. Means the angle between the two vectors is theta equals to 180 degrees. 180 degrees. So here then we know that cos 180 is nothing but minus 1. So if we substitute here, we have r equals to under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq into cos 180 minus 1. So based on that, here we can write it as under root of p square plus q square minus 2pq. Observe that it is in the form of a square plus b square minus 2ab. So we can write it as r equals to under root of p minus q whole square. For square and root gets cancelled, we have r equals to p minus q. Means the resultant represents the difference in between the two vector magnitude. And here the direction is given as tan alpha equals to sin 180 0 by p plus q into cos 180 minus 1. So 0 by something is 0. The direction represents 0. Means the resultant also acts along this direction based on the two vectors. Take a screenshot. We will continue with the special cases. The angle between two vectors is 90 degrees. Then here, then we can represent the magnitude as r equals to p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta, where we know that cos 90 is 0. So if we substitute here, we have r equals to under root of p square plus q square. R equals to under root of p square plus q square. Whereas the direction is given as tan alpha equals to q sin theta. Sin 90 is 1. So q into 1 by p plus q into cos 90 is 0. So here we get a q by p. Q by p. So let us consider that both the vectors are having equal magnitude. If you consider that both the vectors are having equal magnitude, then we have tan alpha equals to p by p. P and p gets cancelled, we have 1. And we know that we get 1 when alpha is equals to 45 degrees in the case of tan. Means the angle between the vector and resultant is 45 degrees. Means the two vectors are perpendicular to one another like this. Here the resultant makes an angle of 45 degrees. And next, here if we consider that the resultant makes an angle of 90 degrees with one of the vector. So in order to represent this, observe that the resultant makes an angle of 90 degrees. Then here, based on that, the direction is given as a tan 90 is equals to q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. And here we know that tan 90 is infinity, so we cannot apply it directly. What we do is we just split the tan 90 as sin 90 by cos 90. Sin 90 by cos 90, which is equals to q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. When we cross multiply this equation, we know that cos 90 is 0. 0 into something 0. So we have 1 into p plus q cos theta is equals to, from this equation we have cos theta equals to minus p by q. Cos theta equals to minus p by q. So based on that, means the angle between the two vectors is cos theta equals to minus p by q. Whereas in the same way, the resultant magnitude r equals to under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. The value of cos theta is minus p by q. So here observe that q and q gets cancelled. Then we have r equals to under root of p square plus q square minus 2p square. Why? Because 2p into p minus p, so we get minus p. Then we have r equals to under root of p square minus 2p square is nothing but minus p square. So we have q square minus p square. It represents the resultant magnitude when the resultant makes an angle of 90 degrees with one of the vectors. The angle between the two vectors is given as theta equals to 90 plus pi, where it represents pi. Whereas here the resultant maximum magnitude is given as r max equals to p plus q, the magnitudes of two vectors, and the minimum resultant magnitude is given as r minimum equals to difference between the magnitude of two vectors. So if we divide these two equations, we have r max by r minimum is equals to p plus q by p minus q. If we cross multiply this equation, we have p into r max minus q into r max equals to p into r minimum plus q into r minimum. Q into r minimum. So now what we do is we just send this p into r minimum towards this side and bring this q into r maximum towards this side. Then we have p into r max minus r minimum is equals to q into r max plus r minimum. Then from this equation we have p by q equals to r max plus r minimum by r max minus r minimum. Take a screenshot. We will continue with the next topic. Okay, now we are going to discuss some more special cases. Here let us consider that if the magnitude of the two vectors are equal, then the resultant magnitude is given as under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. And here we said that p is equals to q. If we substitute here, we have p square plus p square. I am substituting in the place of q as a p. P square plus 2p into p square into cos theta. Observe that I can take a p square as common. If I take a p square as common, we have 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 2 cos theta. If we take 2 as common, then we have 2p square into 1 plus cos theta. And here we know that 1 plus cos theta is nothing but 2 cos square theta by 2. Then we can write it as 2p square into 2 cos square theta by 2. 2 into 2 under root of 4, we have under root of 4p square cos square theta by 2. Under root of 4 is nothing but 2. Under root of p square is p. Under root of cos square is cos theta by 2. This represents resultant magnitude when both the vectors are having equal magnitude. Now the direction in this case is given as tan alpha equals to, we have q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. P plus q cos theta. So here once again I am substituting the value in the place of q as p. If I substitute here, we have tan alpha is equals to p sin theta by p plus p cos theta. So from this we can take p as common. Then we have p sin theta by, if we take p as common, we have 1 plus cos theta, where 1 plus cos theta can be represented as 2 cos square theta by 2. Then we can write it as so here p and p gets cancelled, and here the sin theta can be represented, it is in the form of sin 2 theta. Then we can write it as 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2 by 2 cos square theta by 2. Observe that one cos gets cancelled and 2 gets cancelled. And here we have tan alpha is equals to sin by cos, tan theta by 2. Why? Because here we have sin theta by, in the denominator we have cos theta by 2. Sin theta by 2 by cos theta by 2 is nothing but tan theta by 2. Based on that, here we can write it as alpha equals to theta by 2. Suppose if we consider the angle between two vectors, theta equals to 60. Angle between the two vectors is 60. Then we have tan alpha equals to tan 60 by 2. Tan 60 by 2. Based on that, tan 60 by 2 is nothing but tan 30. We know that the value of tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3. And here in the case of magnitude, if theta equals to 60, then the magnitude is given as r equals to 2p into cos 60 by 2. Nothing but 2p into cos 60 by 2 is nothing but cos 30. Cos 30 is nothing but root 3 by 2. 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So we have root 3p. In this way, we can represent the resultant magnitude and direction based on different angles. Take a screenshot. Continue. We are going to discuss this triangle. Coming to the case of statement of this triangle, here observe that if two vectors are represented in magnitude and direction by the two sides of a triangle taken in order, these two vectors are taken in order, then the resultant vector is represented in magnitude and direction by the third side of the triangle taken in reverse order. So now here let us consider two vectors. In order to prove this, let us consider two vectors, vector A as well as vector B. Observe that this vector A is along this direction and vector B is along this direction. Now here what I do is I just bring this vector A here and place here. Now what I do is I just bring the vector B and place such that the tail of the vector A and the tail of vector B will coincide with each other. So the tail to tail combination. And here observe that now the resultant of these two vectors is being represented by the closing side of the triangle, which is taken in reverse order. So now here observe that the resultant direction will be opposite. Whereas if we write the equation for this, then we can write it as A bar plus B bar. Observe that the direction of the resultant is in opposite. So we can represent it as minus C bar, which is equals to 0. From this equation, we can write it as C bar equals to a bar plus b bar, a bar plus b bar. So now based on that we can add the given two vectors using a triangle. Here as you observe that the angle between the two vectors is being represented by alpha. So here now we have to apply the Pythagoras. In order to apply the Pythagoras theorem, what I am going to do is I am going to extend the vector a bar and draw a perpendicular bisector from this point onto this vector. So here based on this, observe that this triangle is in the form of a right angled triangle. So here angle at this position is being represented as theta and angle at this position is being represented as pi minus theta. Why? Because since it is a straight line, angle is 180, and here we have theta, so we can represent the angle at this point as pi minus theta, 180 minus theta. So now here the resultant vector c bar is given based on this one. The magnitude c is equals to, here we have under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, 2ab cos theta. It represents the resultant magnitude based on the angle theta between the two vectors. Whereas its direction, here the direction is being represented based on the angle alpha, whereas it is given as tan alpha equals to b sin theta. Why? Because here we represent a b sin theta and here we can represent a b cos theta. Then we can write it as b sin theta by a plus b cos theta. It represents the direction and magnitude based on the triangle. So here as you consider this triangle, here let us consider that the two vectors are acting like this, a bar and b bar. And here the vector a bar is acting along this direction and the vector b bar is acting along this direction, and if the vector c bar acts along this direction, then we can represent that the resultant of the three vectors. Why? Because they are acting along the same direction. Then we can represent that the resultant of these three vectors will be equals to 0. Resultant of these three vectors equals to 0. Why? Because these three vectors are acting along the same direction. So we don't consider the resultant vector along the same direction. We just reverse the direction of the vector and we represent in the case of triangle. Take a screenshot. We will continue with the next one. Now we are going to discuss about the polygon law of vectors. Come to the case, here commonly the triangle and parallelogram law are represented to add only two vectors. If more than two vectors are given, then we use the polygon law of vectors. So here let us see the statement of this polygon law. Come to the case, if number of vectors are represented by the sides of a polygon both in magnitude and direction, then their resultant is represented by the closing side of the polygon taken in reverse order in magnitude and direction. So here in order to represent this, I am going to consider four vectors as f1 bar and f2 bar and f3 bar and f4 bar. I had considered four vectors with boundaries as a, b, c, d, e. So now the vectors, first vector magnitude vector is represented as f1 bar. First vector is represented as f1 bar and second vector is represented as f2 bar and third vector is represented as f3 bar and fourth one is f4 bar. Then the resultant of all these vectors is represented by the closing side of the polygon in reverse direction. Observe that the direction is in reverse. So based on that, here the resultant of this vector is given as f bar equals to f1 bar plus f2 bar plus f3 bar plus f4 bar. In this way we can represent the result. Observe that here we are having 6 sides of a polygon and each side magnitude of this polygon is x, 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 and this means these vectors are having equal magnitude. Now we have to represent the resultant of these vectors. So in order to represent this, first of all we have to find the resultant in between these two vectors. Means we have to find the resultant AC between these two vectors AB and BC. For that we consider the equation, magnitude equation, r equals to under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta, 2pq cos theta. So now observe this, here p is nothing but x, magnitude x, and q is nothing but x, and here the angle at this position is represented as 60, and we know that cos 60 is nothing but 1 by 2. So if we substitute the values, here we have r equals to under root of x square plus x square plus 2x square, x into x square into cos 60 nothing but 1 by 2, 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So we have under root of x square plus x square plus x square, which is nothing but root of 3x square, which is represented as root 3x. So the resultant is represented as root 3x. Now we have to find the resultant of the two vectors root 3x and x. So again let us consider the same equation. Then based on that, here we can represent it as r equals to p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta, 2pq cos theta. Whereas observe that here the angle at this position is 90 degrees. Angle between the two vectors is 90. Based on that, here we can represent it as under root of x square plus root 3x, nothing but 3x square plus 2 into 3 root 3x into x into cos 90, and we know that the value of cos 90 is 0. Based on that, here the resultant is given as under root of x square plus 3x square, which is equals to root of 4x. We can represent it as 2x. So here we got 2x. Now we have to find the resultant from A to E. So here we have 2x and x, and here the angle at this position is represented as 120. Here the angle is 120. So based on this cos 120, here the resultant is given as r equals to under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. And here we know that cos 120 is nothing but minus 1 by 2, and if we substitute all these values, we have, observe that 2x nothing but 2x whole square is 4x square, and here we have x is nothing but x square plus 2 into 2x into x into minus 1 by 2. Here 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So we have under root of x square plus 4x square, 5x square minus 2x square. So we have 5x square minus 2x square is root 3x square. We can also write it as root 3x. Root 3x. And here based on that we can represent AF as x. Why? Because the resultant here. In this way we can represent the resultant of a polygon. Take a screenshot. I hope that you had enjoyed my video. Please subscribe my channel and share this video to your friends. Don't forget to like my video. Thank you.